Hi everybody, it's Miss Alicia again from the Capital Branch of the Milwaukee Public Library. Again, really miss everybody being at the library. So I've been reading Ivy and Bean, chapter at a time. Looks like this. It's by Annie Barrows, published by Chronicle Books. So thank you, Chronicle Books, for letting us read this fun story to you guys. Today is going to be chapter 6. It's called Beware. So let's get started. So, there it looks like Bean and Ivy. I wonder what they should be aware of. Once they had agreed to cast a spell on Nancy, Bean stared long and hard at Ivy's robe. Those little pieces of paper had to go. The first thing we have to do is make you look more like a witch, she said. Ivy looked down at her bathrobe. Why? Bean tried to explain without hurting Ivy's feelings. If you want other people to believe you're a witch, you have to look more witchy. But I don't care if other people believe me, said Ivy. Bean shook her head. What a weird kid. It'll make your spells better, too. You've got to dress for success. Her mother said that all the time. It usually meant that Bean had to put on a clean shirt. Besides, it'll be fun. Do you have face paint? Ivy nodded. In my room, upstairs. She pointed to the window. Is your mom inside? Bean asked. I guess, said Ivy. Is she going to tell my mom where I am? Grown-ups stuck together that way. Bean's dad said it was because they were all in a club together, but Bean felt pretty sure he was making that up. Ivy tapped her wand against her hand. Maybe we should sneak in, just to be sure. That was fine with Bean. She loved sneaking. She loved face paint, too. And she was really going to love watching Nancy kick her legs and wave her arms for the rest of her life. They went in the back door to the kitchen. Bean could hear Ivy's mom talking on the telephone somewhere in the house. This is going to be easy, whispered Ivy. She's working. She yelled loudly, Hi, Mom! Can I have a banana? Hang on a second, Bean heard Ivy's mom say. Then to Ivy she said, Honey, I'm on the phone. Get your own banana. There was a sound of a door shutting. Okay, yelled Ivy. She smiled at Bean. See? Very tricky, thought Bean. Ivy was turning out to be a lot more interesting than she had expected. They walked softly past Ivy's mom's door and up the stairs. They were very quiet. At the top of the stairs, there was a door with a sign that said, Beware, in red glitter glue letters. That was Ivy's room. Beware. When she went in, Bean stood still and looked all around. This is way, way cool, she said. She had never seen a room like Ivy's. There were thick lines drawn in the floor, marking out 5 sections. Each section was like a different room. In one section, there was a small sofa on a rug and a bookcase stuffed with books. In another was a table covered with pens and paper and glitter glue and paint. Ivy's bed, with a canopy made of silver netting, was in another. A dresser and a folding screen painted with clouds were in the 4th section. The 5th section had nothing in it except dolls. Bean had never seen so many dolls in her life. There were the regular plastic kind of dolls. There were the weird staring dolls with fancy costumes that were kept in glass cases at the toy store. Here is a picture of Ivy's room. There is the bookcase, sofa, her bed with the canopy. That looks cool. Her desk. Pretty awesome. There were stiff wooden dolls, there were china dolls, small ones, smaller ones, and tiny ones. There was one doll that was really a rocked dress and clothes. All the dolls were seated around a doll-sized blanket. Even the mushy baby dolls that couldn't sit by themselves had been propped up with blocks. In the middle of the blanket lay a Barbie doll, wrapped up in toilet paper. All the other dolls were watching her. Neat, said Bean, a mummy. Yeah, said Ivy, I'm going to build a pyramid to bury her in. As soon as I figure out how. I know how, said Bean. Nancy made one out of sugar cubes last year. I can't believe your parents let you draw lines on your floor. These are all those dolls. There's the Barbie wrapped in toilet paper. It's only chalk, said Ivy. It comes off. I change the lines when I want to change the rooms. For now, I'm thinking about getting rid of the dressing room and making it into a kitchen. Is that one the dressing room? Asked Bean, pointing to the section with the dresser and the folding screen. Yeah. I like the screen, said Bean, but a kitchen is a little bit boring. Maybe you could turn it into a science lab for making potions. The screen could protect your secrets. Look at these potions. A lab, said Ivy, thinking. A witch's lab. That's a pretty good idea. Bean looked over to the table with the paint and the glitter glue. What's that room called? She asked. That's my art studio, said Ivy. Cool, said Bean. Let's fix up your wand. In Ivy's art studio, there are plenty of sequins and jewels and streamers and pipe cleaners. First, they wrapped the wand with silver pipe cleaners. Then, Bean attached streamers to the end. Then Ivy put some stickers on. Then Bean put plain glue on top and dipped it in a jar of glitter. She stuck a big red jewel on the top. The wand dripped a little, but it looked much, much more magic than it had before. Now, said Bean, when that was done, let's work on your robe. What's the matter with it? Asked Ivy. All the stars and moons are coming off. See? Bean pointed. It will look better if we draw them on with sparkly markers. Ivy looked embarrassed. I can't draw stars very well. I can, said Bean. I'll teach you. Bean showed Ivy how to draw dots for the star points, then connect the dots with lines. Ivy practiced on paper for a while, and then they stretched the bathrobe over the table and began drawing. Ivy's stars were a little bent, but they all had 5 points. Here they are, stretching it over the table. Soon, the black robe was covered with silver stars and gold moons. Once that was done, Ivy got out her face paint. Bean couldn't believe it. The set had 24 colors. Wow, let's do green stripes, said Bean. Or green dots. There were 3 different greens. No, witches are only green in movies, said Ivy. Real witches are just regular colored. But you've got all this great face paint, said Bean. We've got to use it for something. Ivy thought. You can put black around my eyes. Okay, but aren't real witches kind of pale because they go out mostly at night? Asked Bean. I guess, said Ivy, kind of pale, but not green. My mom knew a guy who turned green. It was because he watched TV all the time, said Bean. But she could tell that she wasn't changing Ivy's mind. What if we did all white with black around your eyes? She suggested. Yeah, Ivy nodded, with a couple of blobs of red on my cheeks for blood. That's good, Bean agreed. Blood is good. So Bean carefully smeared white all over Ivy's face except her lips. Then she drew red drops down her cheeks. They didn't really look like blood. They looked more like red tears, but that was a pretty scary thing too. Then Bean drew thick black lines around Ivy's eyes. Both girls thought that witches' hats were dorky, so they wrapped Ivy's head in a black scarf, borrowed from her mother's dresser drawer. It looked almost like long black hair. Ivy stared at herself in the dressing room mirror. Wow, she said, I look really strange. And she did. Whoa, guys, look at that. Look at those drops of blood. The white and the black. That crazy scarf. That is the end of our chapter. Hopefully you guys will be back again tomorrow. Again, like I've said before, this is actually on Hoopla or the Libby app, so you can read it as an ebook. You can find other titles like it as well there. You can also call the library and get curbside pickup at Central Library or any of the branches that are offering it right now. And then so we also have some other great things happening too. So you can look at the other virtual programs that are happening. So go to mpl.org and they have the web calendar there with all the programs that we're having. As well, you can check out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Yeah, so hopefully you'll come back and start reading this story again with me tomorrow. All right, see you later.